Tucker Carlson is talking to an atheist and a former professor of evolutionary biology, and they're discussing morality. And since morality exists in our social construct, there has to be someone who created these invisible laws, okay? Now, even outside of this conversation, like the entire conversation was pretty good, but I thought this point right here was a point that you guys may want to see, okay? So let's go ahead and watch this and react to it. Before we do me a quick favor. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and hop in.
So underlying all of this is a question, we don't need to get into this, but like, if there's no God, then how is there a moral code at all? Like, why can we say that it's better to raise a child than to kill a child? I still don't, I've never understood that. But let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say we all agree that it's better to raise a child than to kill a child.
Yep.
And we've always agreed on that.
Yep.
From the beginning of recorded history. So for whatever reason, we all think that. There seems to be very little evidence that people are getting better. And so the Christian perspective is that people are captive to sin, to the influence of supernatural evil forces on them, which I think is like everyone's experience, by the way. You don't have to be a Christian to know that that's true. And we're constantly fighting to keep those at bay, but they reemerge, and they serially reemerge, right? Yes. And there seems to be no evidence they're going to stop reemerging. So, like, that's not evolution. That's stasis.
Oh, no. I mean, again, let's just work from the other perspective and see whether or not we arrive in the same place. Morality, as far as I can tell, is synonymous with self-sacrifice.
Correct.
That which is moral is you bypassing an evolutionary opportunity.
Exactly.
Right. So why would you do that? Why would evolution program you to bypass an evolutionary opportunity?
Okay, so the thing is this. If human beings came up from the evolutionary process, then why do we have altruistic behaviors? Why do we have behaviors in which we do things that do not directly benefit us, but it benefits others from the sacrifice of us? That goes against the code of evolution, and it goes against the code of creating a scenario in which benefits you and you only. And so that's the question. Why do we do these altruistic things when we know that it benefits others and not ourselves? Okay, so pay attention to what Brett Weinstein is about to explain, because this right here, he's literally proving that our entire social construct, our entire way of living is founded upon God and how he created things to be done. And when we deviate from that, bad things happen, okay? Check this out. This is pretty dope. Check this out.
Why the bad patterns, if it's simply good to include others in your in-group, why don't we just simply evolve to default to that and never waver? And the problem is that there's a competition between short-term gain and long-term gain. Effectively, the upgrade in which you in-group more people is much better in the long run. But in the short run, individuals who decide to take advantage of that may have some advantage inside of the group, right? And so building a structure in which you can't get away with it increases the effectiveness of the moral point, right? If you have everybody calculating that it's morally, you should do the morally right thing if you are in a position to be observed, and if you're not in a position to be observed, then you should do whatever is most profitable, right? Civilization breaks down. If, on the other hand, you take a narrative and you say, nobody ever gets away with anything, it's being observed, it's being recorded, and it may be profitable in the short run, but there's an awful lot of punishment that will come later, right? Frankly, I don't even know if the sentence I just said is a religious narrative or a translation of game theory. It's the same thing.
Right, and I would say that everything you're saying, which is complex, quite.
He literally just basically said what God is and what he's doing. So like everything that we do in this world is being recorded, and that this is the best way to do things, that so no one can truly get away with doing anything wrong. You may get away in the short term, but in the future, it's all going to come back to you. In the future, God's going to show you everything that you've done. And so that he literally just pretty much spelled out God's plan, or, not exactly his plan, but a piece of it, a piece of his plan.
Is an argument for a creator, because the design is so brilliant as you're describing it. And the end result, of course, is like the perpetuation of the species, of all species, that like that's an accident, like because you're describing a system with intent. And that intent comes from where? With a you're describing a system with a goal.
I am describing a system with a goal, not with intent. Yeah, the system has a goal, and
the goal is the intent, right? The intent is to achieve the goal.
Well, that is the sticking point. That
this doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes a lot of it makes.
It doesn't make any sense without it. Well, I don't want to use the phrase intelligent design, but like,
well, let's take a parallel example, and
okay,
we could trip over the parallel example.
I just think you made an amazing case for God, and I didn't know if you thought of yourself as an evangelist. But
no,
you just convinced me.
I've made a very compelling case for a belief in God.
The fact that there is mental, spiritual, and physical benefits to helping others should prove the fact that this was designed by a creator. Look at this article right here. It says there are many benefits to helping others beyond the good that we put into the world. For example, helping others is associated with greater health, well-being, and longevity. Research has also shown that helping others can improve self-confidence, self-awareness, self-esteem, and reduce symptoms of depression. Now, this ironically is similar to scriptures in the Bible that speaks on helping others and being generous, such as this verse right here in Ephesians 6:2 that says, honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy long life on the earth. Or other verses like this. Proverbs 11:25 says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Matthew 7:12 tells us that the golden rule is the best method to live by. It says, so in everything, do to others what you would have them to do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. So there is obviously a correlation to our ability to thrive as human beings and morality in thinking about others, doing unto others what we want them to do to us, and having these invisible laws that help society thrive and help society move forward. There's obviously a correlation, and that correlation is designed by the creator, which we call God. And we know that creator to be Yahweh. We know that creator to be Jesus Christ. And so, yeah, I mean, I think Tucker Carlson, kind of did a great job in kind of reeling him in to make this point that, yeah, when we do things for ourselves and think selfishly, bad things tend to happen, and that there is a design, and that the best method to go is that you can't get away with doing evil things. And there is no evil things in the animal kingdom. They can do what they want. They have different constructs, but ultimately there is no real laws in the animal kingdom. There's instincts and there's primitive ways of thinking. And so, but human beings are quite different in how we do things. And it shows that there is another type of way of living outside of the animal kingdom. And that way of living is designed by God. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and hit the post notification bell so you do not miss another video. My name's Aaron Page. I'll catch you on the next video. Until next time, I'm out.